Are you a gamer struggling to lose weight? My name's Jordan, and I have lost nearly 80 pounds myself and helped hundreds of clients achieve similar results. And a big part of weight loss is just strictly nutrition. And a lot of times it's really not getting enough protein in. And so people will often turn towards protein snacks to help kind of cheat that protein in a little bit. And I've tested 6 different protein snacks, essentially, so you don't have to. First one I did was, it was called Protein Pop on Amazon. And I gotta say, it was dog shit. They had 4 different flavors in the variety pack that I tried, and the only one that was passable, as in I could actually finish it, was the pina colada. And that's because the protein pop, and I think this is going to be the case for any protein soda that you drink, has a milky, filmy aftertaste to where it almost feels like there's like a film all within the inside of your mouth. And I think that's because of the whey protein that they put in it. I think any protein soda or clear protein that you're going to drink is going to have that. And so the only one that was passable was a pina colada because that milky taste kind of fit in with the taste palette of like the coconut for the pina colada. All in all, I gave that a 2 out of 10. I said I would only drink that if my dying grandmother said on her deathbed that it was her final wish for me to drink another protein pop, that I would do it. But fortunately, I have no surviving grandparents, so I don't have to worry about that. A 4-pack of the protein pop was roughly $20. Each can was 100 calories with 22 grams of protein, which is a decent calorie to protein ratio, but again, the flavor was just not really worth it. Next, I tried the legendary s'more protein pastries, essentially their version of Pop Tarts, and those were $27-ish for 8 of them. They were 200 calories for 22 grams of protein, so not an amazing calorie to protein ratio. And overall, they weren't bad. They were drier than I expected, and they did have a little bit of that protein chalky aftertaste, but it was much better than the protein pop. If you throw it in the microwave for about 10 seconds, it becomes tolerable. They look very unappealing. It looks like they're covered in jizz. And I ate all of them, but I overall wouldn't buy them again. I don't think they were worth the $27 for the 8-pack that I bought. And ultimately, I gave them a 4 out of 10. I said that they're pretty much like when you go on a date with that crush that you've had for a very long time, only to find out she's a complete bitch. That's pretty much what I felt about these legendary Pop Tarts, or legendary protein pastries. Next, I actually got the Pop Tart brand of their protein Pop Tarts. And they're like $1 more per 4-pack than your regular Pop Tarts. And they are horrible as far as their protein to calorie ratio. They are 400 calories for 2 pastries, so 1 pack, and 10 grams of protein, where the regular Pop Tarts are same calories, 400 calories for 5 grams of protein. So you're getting twice as much protein, but the calorie to protein ratio is terrible and not really worth the extra dollar that you're spending because it's not going to move the needle. But they taste like a normal Pop Tart. And so if you're a Pop Tart fan and they're sold out of the regular Pop Tarts, then these are a decent alternative to scratch that Pop Tart itch. But ultimately, it is really not worth it. And this brings up a good point that a lot of times companies will just throw the word protein on something strictly for marketing sakes to get people to buy thinking it's quote unquote healthy. It is like this decade's version of the keto or low carb or low fat from the 90s. It is just this decade's gimmick to get people to buy thinking it's healthy. And in reality, a protein Pop Tart, name brand Pop Tart, isn't going to be much higher in protein than your standard Pop Tart. So I wouldn't recommend these. Flavor wise, they were good. They were the brown sugar cinnamon ones that I got. So they were pretty solid. But again, not worth the $1 extra because the slight increase in protein is not going to move the needle at all. As far as score, I would give them a 5 out of 10. Flavor was up there, 8 out of 10, but protein was like a 1 out of 10. So even that out, give it a 4 or a 5 out of 10. I would prefer the legendary pastries over the protein Pop Tarts strictly because of the calorie to protein ratio. They are more expensive though. Next, I finally got some protein snacks that I actually enjoyed and ones that I still eat. This one, Protein Puffs by Twin Peaks. They are really, really good. The one package is 2 servings and they are 260 calories for the whole entire bag and 42 grams of protein. So the calorie to protein ratio is really good. When I'm looking for protein rich snacks, I try to get 10 grams of protein per 100 calories or more. Then if it's lower than that, it's not really worth it. And so having something that is essentially twice that where it's 42 grams of protein for 260 calories, is a really good protein to calorie ratio. 3 of these was around $21, which boils down to about $3.50 per serving, which isn't terrible, but it is something that you might want to be mindful of. Maybe you have like one serving a day as that snack where you eat half of one of these bags a day, because one bag boils down to about $7. You can buy the barrel, you can buy that for a little bit more, and it really lowers the price per serving. Flavor wise, I've only tried the nacho cheese. It's phenomenal. It is really good. It has more flavor than your standard like cheese puffs, cheese balls, and they are much smaller here. Resealable bag, sealed for your flavor. Plus, they're smaller. They look kind of like Reese's Puffs. They're much denser. They crunch more. It actually feels like you're eating something rather than just chewing on air like regular cheese puffs. And so you actually get full eating these, to where I've been munching on this one bag for over a while, and I can eat a few mouthfuls and be satisfied there. So I highly recommend these. I give these a solid 8 out of 10. I would recommend these over regular cheese puffs for sure. Next, these Mythical Meats. This isn't a test. This is something that I eat fairly regularly, and these are pretty much a staple of my diet. And actually a big driver on how I have lost so much weight was because I would have this in a protein bar for one of my snacks. And so specifically the D&D ones, they have all 12 classes on here, and each class is a unique flavor. And so one D&D pack, you get one of each class, each with its own respective flavor, and they use exotic meats like venison, buffalo, duck, boar, yak, alligator, honey ham. That's not exotic, but it tastes good. And so they have a flavor palette for really everyone. There's a chipotle and garlic beef with yak. That one's good. That's the wizard. But then they also have the honey ham pork, which is a warlock. So there's a large variety of flavors to play with. They have the D&D one, which I recommend. They also have the mythical beasts. They have the cryptids. They have a few other packs that each have individual flavors per whatever creature or class it is. And they have a lot of flavor just in general. And their calorie to protein ratio is very solid. Roughly 70 calories for about 7 grams of protein. So again, hitting that 10 grams per 100 calorie, and good all around snack. And if you're interested in this, I can get you 10% off your first purchase by using the code and link below, as these are friends of the channel. Mythical Meats. Also, they're better than Chomps. Chomps are okay, but Chomps' flavor is very meh. These have a much larger variety of flavor. Overall, I give these guys 9 out of 10. I'll say 10 out of 10 if we're grading specifically meat sticks. These are definitely the best I've ever had, but these are a good 9 out of 10 protein snack. Pair this with something else and it'll be a good general snack / meal substitute. Last up, like I said before, I would have a Mythical Meat stick and a protein bar. That would be a good snack between lunch and dinner for me, and that was a kind of my meal. And a protein bar that I eat very regularly are Pure Protein. You can find those at Walmart, Costco, wherever. I get them because they're convenient and they also taste good. They have so many different flavors. They just recently came out with a Fruity Pebbles one and a Cocoa Pebbles one. I'm definitely leaning more towards the Fruity Pebbles, but the Cocoa Pebbles are all right. I'd give the Cocoa Pebbles like a 5 out of 10. Fruity Pebbles I would give like a 6 or 7 out of 10. But they're good. They have a lot of different flavors. So they have flavors for like your standard protein, like your chocolate and peanut butter or chocolate salted caramel, that type of stuff. Very solid. But then they also have a lot of like dessert flavors where they'll have like a cosmic brownie, zebra cake one. They have lemon. They have birthday cake. They have a lot of different choices for you to choose from based on what you're craving. So having a protein bar after dinner as a nice way to kind of curb that sweet craving afterward can be a really good way to reduce overall calories while increasing that protein. Again, kind of cheating in that protein. And so I highly recommend Pure Protein. I would love to be sponsored by them, but I'm not. And they average around $2 or just under $2 per bar, depending on where you buy them. And so they're very cost effective versus some other protein options that I've seen. All in all, I give Pure Protein like a good 9 out of 10 for the calorie to protein ratio. They're going to be around 200 calories per 20 grams of protein. Very cost effective. And again, they have a large variety of flavors. There have been some that I don't like, but there have been some that I really lean into, and those just become my staples, like the sea salted caramel one. That one tastes really good, and they have a large variety of flavors, some that I don't particularly love and some that I really, really do enjoy. And so I just lean into the ones that I do enjoy, and I'm not afraid to branch out on some of their newer flavors because they have definitely been way more hits than misses. So that's a quick and dirty tier list of protein snacks that I have recently had or recently tried. Definitely recommend getting some form of protein option that you can lean into. I think people lean into protein snacks maybe a bit too much because it allows them to munch and munch without necessarily changing their behaviors. And so you can obviously overeat or overconsume protein snacks like you can anything else. Protein is obviously more satiating, so you will be fuller from it. And so trying to overeat protein bars versus candy bars is going to require more work, but you absolutely can eat 3 or 4 protein bars at once and have 800 to 1,000 calories right in one setting, when that's probably not what you want to do if you're trying to lose weight. So my recommendation, find 1 or 2 protein snacks that you enjoy, whether it's a meat stick, cheese balls, or a protein bar, and then stick with it. If you are somebody who does like to snack, I would recommend like a portion of Doritos with a protein bar rather than trying to find like Quest protein chips, because those tend to not taste as good. They tend to be way more expensive, and the calorie to protein ratio is good, but again, it's not necessarily worth the increase in price for it when you could have a protein bar and Doritos, knowing you like both of those things, and go from there. So yeah, give these snacks a try next time you're trying to increase your protein without eating ungodly amount of chicken. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are interested in more quick tips and tricks on how you can reclaim your health, lose weight, and build the confidence to become the main character of your life. And if you want some free resources like this 1-year beginner's handbook, where this will become your player's handbook that you put right up on the shelf, just like that, for the next 1 year, it comes with over 170 print and play workouts. It's got 40 high protein recipes if you are trying to increase your protein, a meal prep, shopping guide, sleep guide, etc. All in here, all completely free. All you got to do is join the Discord, which I will link below, and you can get a free PDF of that. I think that's it for today, and I'll catch you on the next one.